How's it going, everybody? Bryan, Alvarez, and Dave Meltzer here. Wrestling Observer Radio, August 9, 2018. Figure4online.com/WrestlingObserver.com. Got a lot of news to talk about here today. One of the big stories of the year, really. Ring of Honor already sold 60% of the tickets for Madison Square Garden. This was the pre-sale.
9,000 tickets sold today. And
public tickets go on sale in a couple of days. It's going to sell out.
It's going to sell out. I don't know if it's going to sell out on Friday, the first day they go on sale to the public, but it might. But it's going to sell out. Yeah, it's a given now.
It's going to lead to insanity all over the world of WWE.
It already has.
Yes.
It's interesting. I'm really interested to see how Vince reacts, because this is I already know how he's reacting, but this is it's like, in his mind he can't lose, but he lost trying to block them from getting the show, and then the idea is that there's not enough fans and it won't draw, and obviously it's going to sell out, which they haven't done in Madison Square Garden in 3 years, and they have only done once in almost 6 years. And they didn't even, they didn't sell out for Ronda Rousey's debut and Undertaker's return after 8 months, just on July the 7th. So I don't know what that says, but it's...
Well, it says it's the first show in Madison Square Garden for Ring of Honor. It's over WrestleMania weekend.
I don't think that obviously, it's going to sell out. It's going to sell out.
Because it's the first show, it would have probably sold out. But WrestleMania weekend is absolutely going to help.
Oh, it absolutely will help. But I would think that, because you got to remember that the people who I know that bought tickets were not necessarily WrestleMania people. A lot of their fan base isn't. I think WrestleMania will help. But look, All In had nothing to do with WrestleMania, and it sold out. And Madison Square Garden's a bigger draw than going to Chicago. And this is also probably, in a lot of ways, is going to be a lot bigger card than All In. It is. They're going to have a lot more stars. In theory, they may not, because Vince may grab everyone. I kind of expect that attempts in that direction to happen for sure. So we'll see what happens. I think it makes everything... It's going to make everything a lot more interesting. It may be the kiss of death, or maybe not. Who knows what's going to happen? It may be very beneficial. There's a couple of guys, the obvious people, the Young Bucks, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Cody, that are in an incredible position right now. And there's other guys like Adam Page and Marty Scurll who aren't in quite as incredible a position, but they're in a very good position right now. So it's going to be very, very interesting what happens in December and January, in a lot of ways. And from from everyone's standpoint, there's guys in WWE's contracts are up too. So that will also be interesting. Mae
Young Classic and NXT, got a lot to talk about there. Aleister Black, they've shot an angle. It appears he is out of the three-way at the TakeOver event, which...
He's out.
I guess would mean Gargano-Ciampa for the title, one-on-one, unless they add somebody else.
But yeah, probably Gargano-Ciampa for the title, yeah. Which is, they wanted to do that, but that was going to be down the line. So, just speeds things up. But, they can speed things up. It's not the end of the world. I don't know how long... that Black's going to be out of action, but he had surgery. It was kind of ridiculous to think that he would be ready for TakeOver. It just didn't make any sense at all. So I think that they announced, they put it on the website, I believe, that Black is out. So, or not that he's out, but that he's hurt and he was attacked. So, they'll probably have this, an announcement in the next couple of days on how they're going to handle it. But yeah, the singles match makes sense.
The way that this was written on the front page, in a video posted on WWE's YouTube page, Regal was talking about the triple threat match that had just been confirmed for TakeOver. At that moment, an assistant came up to Regal and said something had happened in the parking lot. As he passed by Johnny Gargano entering the building, he saw Undisputed Era driving away in a car. So... I mean, we're being led to believe it was Undisputed Era, but Johnny Gargano was walking into the building. So, again, there's a lot of ways they can go with the storyline.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
The Mae Young Classic, first night is in the books, and the second night is being taped tonight, Thursday. And we got all the spoilers. I don't know if there's much to talk about as far as like who beat who and everything like that. I don't think there's any big surprises, but
we should just go through it though.
You have in front of you?
No.
All right, I'll find him here in a second. But anyway, the word was not as good as the first night last year.
Yeah, the first night last year wasn't that good either. I mean, but again, it's what we say before. It's like you have to say that it's good because it's like the thing. I mean, it's successful.
That's not the report we got, Dave. I'm a journalist here. The word was not as good as last year's first night.
Last year's first night wasn't good either, and everybody said it was.
Okay, well, that's what people are saying.
Yeah, but most people are saying it was good. But, I've heard the same thing, that it really wasn't that good. But whatever. I mean, when I look at the matches, there's, some of the matches. I think... what was it? The Meiko Satomura match I heard was good. The Io Shirai match I heard was good. The Casey Catanzaro match I heard was good. Some of the other matches, not so much. The people you would expect to
Casey
be over.
Catanzaro is the former American Ninja Warrior, and I heard people raving about her.
Oh, I've heard that from her debut on the house show tour. Everyone's raving about her. I've talked to people in the company who told me she's going to be a real big thing. She's just got incredible athletic ability. She's like 4'11". She sells like crazy, and she's only been wrestling for a couple months. She's only been in the system for a couple months. Only been wrestling for even less than that. She just took to it. The crowds love her. She's, from what everyone tells me, she's a can't miss star. Then again,
there's no such thing in WWE as a can't miss star.
Yeah, not when it comes to the main roster. I've seen an incredible amount of stuff where you just don't know, but.
She's probably a can't miss for NXT. I will say that.
Well, she already is.
They do a much better job.
They haven't put her on TV yet, but she at the house shows she gets over like crazy. They put her over Reina Gonzalez in the tournament, so that's like the big, because Reina Gonzalez is like 6 foot tall and big, and she's like 4'11". So you have the big size difference thing, which makes her the underdog, and she won. So she got over instantly, I heard. But yeah, so you got the results?
All right, so Tegan Nox beat Zatara.
Yeah, that's Nixon Newell, so she's a good wrestler.
Rhea Ripley beat MJ Jenkins.
I heard that was all right.
Lacey Evans beat Vanessa Craven.
Lacey Evans, okay, whatever.
Lacey Lane.
Okay,
yes,
that makes more sense. Okay, so Lacey Lane is a college basketball player who was working for the Crash. So, and Vanessa Craven is a tall woman from Ontario.
Meiko Satomura beat Killer Kelly, a Death Valley driver.
Yeah, well, Meiko Satomura is, one of the best women wrestlers in the world right now.
Dana Perazzo beat Priscilla Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Zeuxis beat Ariel Monroe. Apparently the crowd loved Ariel Monroe, but she was beaten.
Yeah. Well, they didn't bring her in for just, just to lose in the first round from CMLL. So she's like hoping that she's going to get a big, contract offer coming off of this. So I guess they all are.
Casey Catanzaro match, we talked about that, beating Reina Gonzalez. Mercedes Martinez beat Ashley Rain, the former Madison Rain.
Real interesting that they put her out in the first round.
Yeah.
Although Mercedes Martinez is probably the better wrestler of the two. Mercedes Martinez is very good. But, they've had, I presume the reason they didn't, she looked good in the tournament last year, and I presume the reason they didn't sign her last year was age. And she's a year older this year, so, if it wasn't for that, she certainly got the aura and the work, that's better than most in developmental.
Caitlin beat Kavita Devi.
I heard that sucked, like really bad.
Toni Storm beat Ginny. Yeah,
I didn't hear about that, but it should be good because they've wrestled each other, before, and Tony Storm's got to be one of the favorites in this thing.
Xia Li beat Karen Q.
Yep.
Mia Yim beat Allison Kay, the former Sienna. Crowd apparently loved that match.
Well, yeah, because there are people who are on, like, Impact Television. Everyone from Impact Television that comes to Full Sail always gets over like crazy the first time. I mean, it's like they're real people. So, yeah.
We have Hiroyu Matsumoto beating Rachel Evers, former Rachel Ellering. Said to be a great match.
Hiroyu Matsumoto is really good. She's one of the better people in the tournament. This is going to be, when they get down to it, when they get down to like the final 8, which I guess...
the final 8 should be awesome.
Yeah, the final 8.
Unless something goes terribly wrong.
Final 8, final 4 will be real. Like tomorrow's show will probably be really good. Because then they're going to get down to they're getting down to the final 2 tomorrow.
Tainara Conti defeated Jessie Elaban.
Yeah, Tainara Conti's got a great look. I mean, and she's a good athlete, but what I have seen of her is they want to push her really hard because she's got a good look, but they're kind of rushing her.
Nicole Matthews beat Isla Dawn, and Io Shirai beat Zaya Brookside. No bracket, so we don't know who's facing who tomorrow.
Yeah. They announced so it's going to be. They're not going to do the big binge thing. They're going to release.
That's right. They're going back to week. Thank God.
Yeah, they're going to release one show.
I'll watch it this year.
Yeah, starting September the 8th. It's going to be on debuting at 9:00 Eastern. So right after NXT, they're going to do that every week, leading up to the finals, which will be on October 28th, which will be the on the Women's Evolution pay-per-view.
I got to say, when they made that decision to do the binge watch gimmick last year, I thought there's no way this can do as well as week to week. And they claim that it did very well, but they're not doing it this year, so it couldn't have done as well.
It couldn't have done as well as they were saying, because
if it did better, they would have done that again.
Exactly. Well, think about it though. I mean,
I didn't watch it because of the way they did it.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched most of it. I watched all the good stuff. But that's the same thing I'm going to do now. I'm not going to watch every match of every hour or anything like that.
I know I'm way more likely to watch it with an hour a week than throwing out all those episodes all at the same time.
Yeah, well, it depends on what else is going on in the world. I don't know that I have another hour a week to devote to WWE, at least until the end.
I know you don't have 6 hours a week to devote to this if they did the binge watching deal.
No, not right now. I don't. Not at all.
Not anytime soon. Hey, you're going to the Hall of Fame. You're the only guy in it.
Oh, in England?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You may as well just shut it down afterwards. Let's be honest. I know you won't be, but I'll be honest. That's pretty much it.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but
I figured.
Yeah.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about SmackDown.
So did you see the picture of John Cena?
I did not think he looked anything like you. I don't know what people are talking about.
Really? I looked at the picture. I thought, oh my God. No, he doesn't look anything like me now, but he looks exactly like me when I was 40. Exactly. It was scary.
Let me go back and look at this again. I didn't know you as well when you were 40.
No, I was 41 when you met me, so you could be, it's pretty close.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that here. I'll make a determination here, but in the meantime, what's your thoughts on SmackDown?
Oh, the New Day match was really good.
Yeah, they gave him 25 minutes to have a good tag team match. Shocking. Yeah,
it's probably the best match on WWE main brand TV in a long time. I really like that match.
I can see the resemblance here, by the way, but you had way bigger hair, I think, even at 40, than John Cena does in this picture.
Yes. But it's similar style, though.
Kind of.
Similar style.
Yeah.
He's got bigger wrists and forearms, that's for sure.
He has bigger wrists and forearms, and you had a leaner waist. For some reason he's lost 20 pounds, but his gut is just as big. I don't know why.
Yes, you do.
Oh, come on, Dave.
Of course you know why.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But anyway.
Because he's 40 years old, or he's 41,
That's
right?
true. Probably a lot of alcohol since he's been off the road here for a while. A lot of beer.
That's probably not it.
All right, back to SmackDown here.
I don't know. I don't know that he's been drinking that much to look like that. Especially if you're trying to lose weight, which obviously he is, if he's lost 18 pounds in a very quick period of time. I'm seriously doubting he's drinking a lot of beer on that diet to lose 18 pounds. Unless he's doing some kind of a diet that, I don't know, that makes no sense. Drink a lot of beer and then still lose weight. Can you do that?
I mean, if all you do is drink beer and train really hard, I mean, you could probably lose some weight. I don't know if you'd end up looking like that, but...
Yeah, but you wouldn't look like that, exactly.
No, it's weird.
Yeah, so I don't think it's beer. I just think that the dude's just, I don't know. He's pretty cut, though. I mean, I guess, I wonder what his purpose is for losing all that weight.
Don't have any idea.
Well, probably acting, as I'm going to guess, because usually they don't want, I think it'll open them up to more acting roles if you're not so big.
Are you kidding me?
What?
The Rock's gigantic.
Yeah, but The Rock dropped, you know how much weight The Rock dropped when he got into the movies?
Yeah, but he's making way more money now being gigantic.
Yeah, but he can only do certain roles and he already established that he could do other roles. So he doesn't, now Rock can do whatever he wants now. He's already established. But when he was trying to establish himself, he must have been, I think he told me he was 220. And I thought when I met him, when he was at his leanest, when he wasn't eating anything, that he was maybe 215. I mean, he is tall.
Yeah.
He is probably like 6'4".
When you're 254 pounds and you're shredded, I mean, if they're telling you to drop a little weight for a role and you're still 236 and shredded, I don't know if you've made that much of a transformation. Well,
you can't. It's not like you can drop that much weight unless you're doing then you're trying to, water deprive yourself, which I doubt he's doing. I don't think that you're going to be able to like drop that much weight in a short period of time. I mean, it takes a long time to drop. If you want to drop, and I don't know how light he wants to get and what his goal is. Who knows what it is? Other than it's got to be for acting. I mean, but then again, it could.
Are they doing a movie on your life?
Somebody already did that one.
Oh man!
Somebody already asked me that one today, but no, they're not. And I don't think that he would be the guy to play it if they were, especially not today.
It won't be a WWE film.
No, not today. I don't think that we're on the good side today.
All right, SmackDown.
Didn't we just talk about it? Well,
we talked about the main event.
Yeah, Randy Orton did a nice promo, talking about how he's going to get rid of
how he gets no respect as they gave him a standing ovation.
It's going to be I know. It's going to be really hard for him to turn heel. The people just are going to like him no matter what. So the thing is they announced Nakamura against Jeff Hardy, but everything on television is all about Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. It's so I mean, I presume that's going to end up as a three-way. The Iconics got boringed out. They're another one. I thought that they had a cool act in NXT, and on the main roster, I don't get a thing out of them. I mean, I don't think their promos are particularly good. Their wrestling isn't good. I think Peyton Royce's transformation to look more attractive, I don't know. I don't want to say, but I don't think that.
She was more attractive in NXT?
I thought so, yes. To me, yes. I would say so. But, that's neither here nor there, but...
no one's saying she's unattractive, by the way, everybody.
I know, no shit. Yeah, I didn't say it at all. But I don't think, she doesn't stand out to me. When she was in NXT, she did.
Well, one thing I've noticed about NXT and the main roster is...
She was a lot lighter.
The NXT characters, there's a thing about the main roster of WWE where they have to brand you, and in branding you, your character is forced to be more one-dimensional because they want to brand something specific about you. And it's better when you're not... Well, let's say they come out now and they do the exact same thing every time. They do their Twinsies promo, and then they get in the ring, and they had so much more personality and character when they were on the developmental roster than on the main roster.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I watch them, and it's just I hear people going boring when they're doing the promo, and their promos used to be good. And I think the same thing when they start the promo. I was like, get this promo over with. I'm getting, just because it's such a scripted, nothing happening promo. You know, it's like,
it's the same thing every week.
Okay, so so I didn't really particularly like that. Then Miz and Daniel Bryan stuff. I thought the Miz was really good. He had some really cool. I liked him a lot.
So Daniel Bryan's new character is that he's a psychopath.
Well, he just hates the Miz.
He got in the ring a couple of weeks ago with his fist cocked. He later admits he thought it was a real baby. So what was he going to do when he got in the ring with his fist cocked? He was going to beat up Miz and the baby? He was going to beat up the wife? What was he going to do? And then this week, he shows up to attack the Miz after the Miz has given him the match he wanted.
That's true. Yeah, but he was insulting Daniel Bryan something fierce. Come on. He was saying Daniel Bryan's, irrelevant and not on his level.
So you're going to show up at the set of Miz and Mrs. You know what the set of Miz and Mrs. is? The guy's house. It was a crazy guy.
He wasn't at the house.
What do you think Miz and Mrs. set is? Like they built a soundstage to film the show? It's at his house.
No, but they pretended that he had a set.
Yeah, the set is his house.
That wasn't his house.
This crazy guy showed up at his house.
It wasn't his house. He wasn't in Austin, Texas. But anyway, they were back. He was backstage. The set was backstage.
You're killing the gimmick here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, how'd Daniel Bryan get there so quick? It had to be backstage.
I don't know. I don't know how he got there so quick. He's clearly a stalker. He's a psychopath stalker here now. Yeah, it's a weird character that's supposed to be a babyface.
Well, look, do you think this week they want him to be super over as a babyface?
Probably not. All I know is when they were just doing their own thing on Talkin' Smack, like people were begging to see this match. Now WWE's got their hands on it. Remember that interview where Daniel Bryan laughed at the idea that WWE could keep it interesting through WrestleMania? They're not even keeping it interesting through SummerSlam.
It's okay. It's okay for SummerSlam. It'll be okay for SummerSlam. But yeah, I thought it the promo. So the Zelina Vega and Lana stuff, I will say this. Okay, they kept the match short. The crowd was dead, but it did work into the program with Aiden English and everything they're doing. So it was like, I kind of got what it was. It was like, at first it's like, God, they're going to give them another singles match, but it's setting up angles. But
hey, listen, we only had one really bad match on the show, unlike that Carmella match. There was a double whammy last week, so I was okay with this. Got a great main event.
The Charlotte match was nothing special, but then again, that was all during commercial. The Zelina Vega match was not particularly good. The Luke Harper and Eric Rowan match was only a minute, so there was nothing wrong with it. Nakamura and R-Truth was actually pretty fun for its 3 minutes. I thought R-Truth for that first minute looked great.
R-Truth has looked great the last 2 weeks in a row. Looks great. He's very athletic for his age.
Damn, is he athletic for his age.
Crowd gets into him. He messed up one time, and it's been all downhill from there, and it's too bad. He deserves better.
Yeah, I think he does deserve better. He can get people going. He's got charisma. He's funny as hell on promos, doing that shtick, but he's got no credibility whatsoever. I mean, it's like when he was challenging. I will say I love the line. I mean, I don't give those writers credit very often.
Oh yeah,
that line about how he's going to get a title shot by beating Carmella. I thought that was like actually really clever.
Yes, it was awesome.
So that was good. And then main event was it was a hell of a match. So Sheamus and Cesaro lost. The New Day's getting the tag title shot at the Bludgeon Brothers on the pay-per-view. I think, what are we, like 11 matches in? I think there's 10 official, and then there's like...
I think there are now 11 official.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. I know, like, that Daniel Bryan's match is official. The Miz match is official.
Not the same match.
I mean, the tag team title match is official. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Lesnar, Roman, Alexa, Ronda, AJ, Samoa Joe, Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day, Strowman, Owens, Ziggler, Rollins, Carmella, Becky, Charlotte, Cedric and Drew, Shinsuke and Jeff Hardy, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, Daniel Bryan, and The Miz. 11 matches right now.
Yeah, they'll probably add one more too.
Yeah, there was that one I can't remember from Monday that they were building up. That they
the tag team title that they're gonna do the tag team title match on Monday, and something may come out of that.
Yeah.
a lot of short matches, I think.
All right, 205 Live.
205 Live. Typical. So I guess the Mustafa Ali thing looked like a total. In the injury, like all the other injuries that are going around are legit, but this Mustafa Ali one, I think, is a total work because it was just a pure storyline thing where the gimmick is, I guess, that Mustafa Ali works real hard, but by doing so, he's careless because he's hurt. But he pretends that he's not hurt, but he's really hurt. And so they're looking out for him. But they did the worst execution I've ever seen. Because, so it's Mustafa Ali's against Hideo Itami. They're doing a match, and there's a couple spots in the match where he kind of like has these dizzy spells because he's not supposed to be wrestling. And maybe it's a back spasm because he's not supposed to be wrestling. So he goes on the top ropes for his 054 deal, and he gets dizzy. And Hideo Itami ends up crotching him and pinning him with 3 low drop kicks. And the referee starts panicking because he's out there and he's got a concussion or something, right? So the referee's panicking. He's going like, "What year is it?" And he goes, 2018. "What year is it?" He goes, 2018. "What year is it?" 2018. Then Drake Maverick sprints into the ring. He's all concerned because he knows that this guy's, probably shouldn't be wrestling. He had this hunch. But early on, he just goes, we know you work hard and all this. I thought it was like a spoof on guys working hard and pretending not to be hurt or something. But so when Drake Maverick was like very skeptical that he was really okay, given that he was in the hospital supposedly a few days ago, so he's sprinting in the ring. And the referee goes, he doesn't know what year it is. I'm going like, you asked him 3 times. He got it right 3 times. And then you're saying he doesn't know what year it is. It's like, you have an agenda. It's like, what? I'm not exactly sure what's supposed to happen.
So did he actually forget what year it is and he was supposed to say 2017 and he just messed up?
I don't know what it is. They forgot. I don't know if they forgot to tell him that he was supposed to say the year wrong, but he said it right every time. Maybe he thought it was 2017 and he was messing up. Maybe, who knows? That was the strangest thing I've ever seen. So anyway, the Ali Itami match was a good match. It's like you would expect it to be a good match. They also had a Kalisto and Lince Dorado against Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy match, which this time it was the heels' week to win. So Tony Nese used the trunks to pin Kalisto. And that was a good match. There was double flip dive spot. Lince Dorado did this really cool move where he was running to the ropes and jumped off the ropes and then did like a double stunner on both guys. That was really quite cool. And Mustafa did a move where he was on the top rope where you think he's going to do some sort of a dive, but he jumps off. I think he actually made the middle rope to the floor, and he does a tornado DDT onto the floor. That was like really cool looking stuff. Noam Dar won a match over Sean Maluda. Drew Gulak did one of those politician speech things, actually quite good too. And they announced Leo Rush and Akira Tozawa next week, and also what's the other one they're going to do? The Cedric Alexander and Jack Gallagher. So yeah, 205 Live was all right. It was same as every week really. Good bell-to-bell wrestling, no crowd reactions for the most part. Couple cool promos. Drake Maverick's good. Gulak's good. So that was the story.
So the Raw ratings down a little bit, but still good. SmackDown ratings down a lot, not good.
Yeah, SmackDown was down more than I expected. I think it was down 8.5%, something like that. And Raw...
They weren't that far from falling below 2 million viewers. It was like 2.1.
2197, I think. Let me see. I got it all written here. Where is it? 2197, 2197. So it was down 8.5%, like I said. Most of the drop was teenagers and 35 to 49. So that's where they mostly dropped. Ms. and Mrs. was down a few percent, 6%. Raw was down 3%.
Is that the second week or the third week of Ms. and Mrs.?
Third.
Third, okay.
Yeah. And Ms. and Mrs. is still real strong with women 18 to 49. That's like where it really does its best. The Raw, I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad. It was Ronda's first match, and she did hold up the third hour pretty well. Actually, she was in the highest rated segment of the whole show, and that's unusual being the third hour. But you know, overall, I don't know. It was, I wouldn't say, I don't know. You would think that Ronda Rousey's first match should boost the rating a little more than that. I mean, it's not like it's bad, but I wouldn't call it good. I'd call it okay. You know, it was, they did have no Brock. Brock's supposed to be back next week, and they haven't advertised it. So, wait. Is it, no. Yeah. Because next week would be, Monday's the go-home show. So, yeah, Brock is supposed to be back on Monday.
Yesterday's G1 with Yano beating Omega.
Did you see the show?
I haven't seen it yet, no.
Okay. The booking was really good. Some people won't like the booking, but it all kind of came together. The basic gist is that...
I heard people that really did not like that Yano deal.
Because the comedy or the finish? I thought the finish was... the finish was building up. The finish to me was the culmination of all the booking they've been doing the whole month, where, you know, essentially the story they told is that it was Kota Ibushi. Well, first it was they had Ishii and Juice Robinson, which was really good. Ishii won with a brain buster, and which he kind of had to, because Ishii's almost for sure getting a championship shot with Kenny Omega in the fall, so he pretty much should have won this match. It was just it was a great match. You know, hard chops. Both guys were really over. Great crowd reactions. Great last few minutes. Zack Sabre and Hiroki Goto was very good. Zack Sabre won that one with the European Clutch, and that was to set up a never championship match in the fall. In fact, Sabre grabbed the belt and challenged him for it. So then we had Tama Tonga and Kota Ibushi, and so here we go. So the ref was knocked down. Tangaloa interfered. Fale interfered because they're beating down Ibushi. Kenny Omega ran and hit the V-trigger on Fale. Tangaloa then speared and powerbombed Kenny Omega. Ibushi made a comeback. Went for the Kamigoe, missed it, and Tama Tonga hit the gun stun and pinned him. Then Omega and Tango, you know, the Tongans all beat down Ibushi and Omega until Adam Page and Chase Owens made the save. So Kenny Omega had to wrestle Toru Yano, but he was all beat up, and Yano went for a quick pin, didn't get it. Then it turned into like a comedy. So there was a bunch of comedy routines. In one point, Yano undid all four corners. Actually, he undid three first. But Chase Owens blocked him from undoing the fourth one. Then he undid the fourth one, and he whipped Kenny Omega into one of the exposed metal, and Chase Owens jumped where the turnbuckle padding would be. So he ran into Chase Owens, which cushioned his blow instead of running into metal. Then there was a point where all those turnbuckle pads were on the ground, and Toru Yano suplexed him on the turnbuckle pad, all that padding, and Kenny Omega just kind of smiles. It's like, he dropped me on a bed, and he kind of gets right up. So that was kind of, so they did a lot of comedy. It was there was a lot of spoofing of old wrestling. Like there was the spot where Kenny Omega had the pad, you know, those turnbuckle things, and Yano's begging off like he's a 70s heel, and Kenny's all doing this fired up 70s babyface thing that looks, you know, I mean, it's like, it's really 70s, that's all I'll say. It just felt like the 70s. Then there was a spot where Toru Yano used the duct tape and taped Kenny Omega to Ren Narita, and then he threw Ren Narita over the guardrail. So there's like no way Kenny's going to be able to grab this guy and pull him over the guardrail. to get back in the ring, so he's going to get counted out. But Chase Owens came to the rescue and threw Ren Narita over the guardrail. So Kenny had to drag Ren Narita into the ring with him to beat the 20 count. Then Yano did a whole bunch of near falls, and then he went for a low blow on Omega, but Red Shoes was right there in the line. So he ended up low blowing both of them. So Red Shoes is down. Tama Tonga comes back in, hits the gun stun on Yano. Then Tonga hit the gun stun on Omega and put Yano on top. So Yano pinned Omega. So essentially what you have is that Kenny Omega sacrificed himself for his friend and cost him perhaps winning the G1 because he lost this match to frickin' Toru Yano. And Tama Tonga interfered and also cost him this match with Toru Yano and cost Kota Ibushi his match with, which actually I guess would cost, if things go the way everyone expects and Naito wins, basically Tama Tonga costs both Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega the B Block Championship. It's possible, Kenny Omega still would win if he beats Kota Ibushi, but I don't think that's going to happen. It could. Kota Ibushi could still win if he beats Kenny Omega, but for that to happen, Zack Sabre has to beat Naito, and I don't think that's going to happen. So now I got the whole thing, every single possibility I've got written in just a second, but so that's what happened. So then Naito and Sonata had their main event, and they had a really good match. It was probably about what you'd expect. Sonata looked just tremendous, as he's been. Naito did not look... Naito was very good, but I could really see that this thing's wearing on him. You just can't...
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, it's wearing on him.
The Ibushi match.
Yeah, the Ibushi match, the Omega match, the Ishii match. There's a lot of them. He's had a great tournament, but he's had a tough tournament. But this was a really good match. They're doing a lot of the deal where the other guy does your finish on you. So like Sonata did the Destino on Naito. Sonata did all of his cool stuff. And then Naito did win with a Destino. And then after the match, Evil comes out with Hiromu Takahashi's ring jacket. And Bushi was in as well. So it's not, all four of them are in there except Hiromu Takahashi. And it's the first time they've acknowledged Hiromu Takahashi since the injury. And Naito did his promo with everyone and said one person is missing, and the fans started chanting Hiromu. And then he said Hiromu's probably watching this on New Japan World right now, which in fact he was. And he goes, I don't know when he'll be back, but come back as soon as you can. And then Hiromu, Naito does the fist bump on TV, and Hiromu from his hospital room did a fist bump back, and shot that picture. So that was pretty cool. So this is the situation for everything. Every freaking possibility. If this is for Friday night. So this is Tanahashi, Okada, and Jay White are alive. If Tanahashi beats Okada, he's in the finals. If Tanahashi and Okada go to a draw, Tanahashi's in the finals. If Okada beats Tanahashi and Jay White loses to Evil, Okada's in the finals. If Okada beats Tanahashi and Jay White beats Evil, that puts Tanahashi, Okada, and White all tied, so White goes to the finals because he's beaten the other two. If Tanahashi and Okada go to a double countout or a double disqualification and Jay White wins, Jay White goes to the finals. If they go to a double disqualification and Jay White loses, that would mean Tanahashi would go to the finals. So that's the story there. In the B block, which is Saturday, if Omega beats Ibushi, he goes to the finals. If Omega and Ibushi go to a time limit draw and Naito beats Zack Sabre, Naito goes to the finals, which could happen. If Omega goes to a time limit draw with Ibushi and Zack Sabre beats Naito, then Omega goes to the finals, which isn't going to happen. If Omega and Ibushi and Naito and Sabre both go to 30-minute draws, which also isn't going to happen, Omega goes to the finals. If Omega and Ibushi do a double countout or double disqualification and Naito beats Zack Sabre, Naito goes to the finals. If Omega and Ibushi do a double count or a double DQ, and Naito goes to a 30-minute draw with Zack Sabre, Naito goes to the finals. If Omega and Ibushi go to a double count or a double DQ, and Sabre beats Naito, Omega goes to the finals. If Ibushi beats Omega and Naito beats Sabre, Naito goes to the finals. If Ibushi beats Omega and Sabre beats Naito, Ibushi goes to the finals. So
my brain's so scrambled right now. Who's going to the finals?
Looks like maybe Tanahashi and Naito.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's who they're going to. If that's the case, because you kind of got the feeling that Naito's going to probably wrestle Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom. So if they go to the finals, maybe it's going to be then that leads to Omega and Tanahashi this year, which, is a new match, and there is a story to it, but it's just weird because then you would, where does Okada fit in? Because maybe Okada, maybe Jay White, I don't know. I mean, where does, Okada, you just figure he's always going to be in the main event of the Tokyo Dome, and if he doesn't win the tournament, he may not be in the, he may not even be in the top 3. So that's the deal. But it's going to be, so we're going to have, let's see, so the Friday night show, obviously Tanahashi and Okada are going to tear the house down. They always do. Jay White and Evil, is a match Jay White has to win to stay alive. And that should be good. Suzuki and Fale may really suck. Elgin and Makabe is probably going to be good because those guys work very hard. And Page and Yoshihashi, Page is going to kill himself. You know what match is going to be insane? Is that all-in match between Page and Joey Janela. That match is going to be freaking...
God.
That match is going to be nuts because those two guys are out of their mind.
Hey, speaking of out of their minds, got to talk about Tama Tonga and New Japan banning swearing.
Yeah, just a sec. So then the Saturday show... It's Naito and Sabre, which is going to be a great match. Omega and Ibushi, which is going to be a great match. Goto and Juice Robinson, which is probably going to be a really good match. Ishii and Sonata, which is going to be a freaking great match. And Yano and Tama Tonga, which is probably going to suck and be entertaining in its own weird way. And they got the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll against Jay White, Show, and Yo, which is probably going to be really good. So that Saturday night show is... let me see. That Saturday night, and even the opener, like Finley, well, they'll probably keep the opener short because they got those last matches got to go long. But the Saturday show, like all the B block shows, Saturday show's probably going to be really maybe one of the best shows of the year. Friday will be good. Sunday will probably be great because you're going to have that main event. Whoever is in that finals, they're just going to have a killer match. So, yeah. That's what's going to go on. Big weekend. Okay, so Tama Tonga is not supposed to swear anymore. Juice Robinson is not supposed to swear anymore. Harold May says that...
Wait, just these two or everybody? Well, this should be across the board.
It is across the board.
Okay.
You're not supposed to swear. You're not supposed to attack fans.
Really laying down the law here.
Yeah. I think those are the only things you're really not supposed to do. How
about laying on your head?
I haven't heard anybody on that one. I mean, they don't want people doing it, but these guys are going to do what they're going to do. They're trying to get more sponsorship, and there's this feeling that if there's lots of swearing, that some sponsors wouldn't want to be involved, and I can get that.
And beating up fans.
Beating up fans is never good. Well, he didn't beat up a fan. He just choked him for 6 seconds. Which isn't...
That's how long it takes to choke a guy unconscious.
Yeah, but
he wasn't.
He didn't put any pressure on at all. He just grabbed him around the throat and it's not like he didn't squeeze. He just grabbed him. He did threaten him with a chair, but that was pretty crazy too. And then the last day he was, he's been insulting Roman Reigns for whatever reason. I'm not even sure why. They got into Twitter beef. That's why. And then on today's show, he's running around in his match with Kota Ibushi, and he's looking at the camera talking about how he's he's the real deal and he's a war vet, and these other people talk about fights, don't even know what they're talking about. He got banned from Twitter, too, he had a 12-hour ban from Twitter this week, too.
You're out of control when you get banned from Twitter.
Yeah, well, he was mad because people were snitching on him. That's what he said. He said, "You snitches, I'll be back in 12 hours." He said this he was banned 5 minutes after he was banned. He was blaming the snitches for snitching on him for whatever he said that I have no idea what he got banned for, but yeah. So
is he where he's got 92,700 snitches following him?
Is that what he got?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it only takes one.
Yeah. Pretty sure that if he says something on Twitter, it's probably going to get out.
Yeah, I suppose. Probably misinterpreted too. What if he's telling a joke? The worst thing you could ever do on Twitter, God, do I know this, is tell a joke, because freaking, it's like, even if 90% of the people get it, that other 10% are just, they're not only going to be like idiots, but they're going to be like just the worst kind of idiots. Oh, God. I mean, it's really sad, the lack of sense of humor that our society is starting to have, and so uptight about things that should be funny and fun. You know what I mean? Like, did you see that, like, Dwayne Johnson, people were trying to get on him because he went to an aquarium?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a limit. Now, I grant you that there's certain things. I'm sure there's they don't treat animals well at aquariums and things like that. But you just don't get on somebody's case for going to a freaking aquarium. I mean, it's just like everybody in the world who lives in the real world has probably been to an aquarium once. That's just not something that you can use as, like, he may do some things that are very, that he should get criticized for. I don't know what they would be, but going to an aquarium is well, that's just ridiculous. But that's whatever. I'm going to get people mad at me for saying that too.
Let's talk about this UFC pay-per-view number then.
UFC pay-per-view. So yeah, I don't have the number yet, but the show did better than we all expected. It's looking, did 1 million Google searches, but way over. I thought low 200s, and almost everybody said you're way too high. It's going to do 160. It's going to do way over low 200s. It looks like, So I don't know what to say. I guess 2 title matches. I don't know if like Conor like brought awareness to the product and just led to more buys, or people just bought the Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt, which, it was a grudge match, and their first fight was great. So there could be the idea of that, and it's 2 title matches, but still, like, Demetrius and Cejudo fought before and nobody cared. And they did have a much better fight this time, but nobody knew that going in, and everybody just thought that Demetrius as being unbeatable. So I think it probably, they also sold out Staples Center, and the most over guy was Cody Garbrandt, which is, UFC people kept telling me Cody's over. I never saw him at that level, but sometimes they're right. I guess he is, but he lost. So the guy's going to have to do something. I had never thought Cody Garbrandt was the same weight as Demetrius Johnson. So he should go in there and go to that. Maybe that's what he should do next.
PFL.
So PFL raised $28 million for season number 2 and maybe 3 or whatever. So they're going to be around for another year with their $10 million prize and everything like that. But the key to this is that the reason they were able to do this was because UFC got that big TV deal, and UFC's worth a lot of money. So it's a lot of people are going like, hey, MMA is big. Look at what the deal UFC got. And, it's like, I don't know that it's going to happen in wrestling, but that mentality, look, if UFC, if people are going to get into are going to get into MMA because UFC is worth $4 billion, or was sold for $4 billion, it's probably worth more than that now, and got a $300 million TV deal, then $300 million a year TV deal, then WWE just got a $470 million a year TV deal, and they're worth over $6 billion. So if that's the case, you would think that some of these rich guys may want to get themselves into the pro wrestling business. And there are companies out there, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan Pro Wrestling, to where, I mean, these are viable products right now. I mean, Impact definitely would need some help, for sure. I mean, and they all would probably need, update and exposure. But there's, I guess FS1's off the board, but there's stations out there, whether it's Paramount, whether it's, I don't know if TBS is going to be interested, but NBC Sports, ESPN, it looks like a long shot to me, but ESPN was interested in WWE. So if you've got money and you can get that TV deal, and I think a secondary wrestling company is going to do, I think a secondary wrestling company would be a lot more popular than Bellator, a secondary MMA company. And PFL is not even a secondary, it's a number 3. So I think a number 3 wrestling company, because PFL, they put all this money in, and PFL's doing like 110,000 viewers on NBC Sports Network. And they're still willing to, these are, people are willing to put in that kind of money. So, like I said, this is an interesting period, because anything that's live sports or live pseudo sports that you can put on TV seems to have, or put on a streaming service, if you can get the rights to that, there seems to be people who think it's way more valuable than perhaps I believe it to be.
Let's do a few of these mailbag questions here. Mailbag at WrestlingObserver.com. Why did Io Shirai get to keep her name for the Mae Young Classic, yet Kairi had to change hers last year despite similar popularity?
They have different mentality this year than last year when it comes to that. Last year, they were still everyone's got to have their own name that we own, and this year they still make, here's
look at the lineup for the Mae Young Classic. Look at the matches. Like, some of the girls had to change their names, some of them didn't.
Well, I think that Madison Rayne changed her name because they didn't want the idea that they had someone who was just on Impact and Ring of Honor TV like a week ago. So I think that's the reason that she changed her name. I think she was the only one who changed her name. And Rachel Evers is the name that she's always used in NXT because of once Paul Ellering came, they didn't want her to be an Ellering. Don't ask me why. Doesn't make sense. But, that's what they did. They could still change Io Shirai's name, after the tournament when she goes to the main, to the NXT, becomes an NXT regular. That wouldn't shock me.
This person here says, he says considering Shane McMahon is a minority owner in the WWE. I don't think he is. He has no ownership.
He may have some stock, but it's so small that it's like not even, it's not, when they list like the big shareholders, Shane's the only McMahon that's not on the list at all. And Linda and Stephanie, they have stock, but it's not like it's Linda, I think Linda does have a lot of stock. Stephanie is, I forgot what it is, but there's a lot of people ahead of Stephanie when it comes to stock. Vince is number 1. I think Linda might be number 3, but Stephanie's down the line a little bit. But Shane's not even listed at all. He may, I think he has still a very little amount of stock.
This person here says, can Dave speak about the Jumping Bomb Angels in WWF? I was a 12-year-old WWF fan who was not exposed to their type of work. I remember being amazed during that first ever Survivor Series show.
Yeah,
Crowd, Gorilla, and etc.
Yeah, they were the number 2 babyface team in Japan at the time. They came over. The Crush Gals were number 1. The Crush Gals, I think, worked a couple of shows in WWE, but they weren't cute, so WWE thought that they couldn't get over. So, and the reality is they weren't going to leave Japan anyway. They were big stars. The Jumping Bomb Angels, they would leave to come to WWE, and they came for a year. And, they were running around tearing down the house every night until they got told that, that's not how you work in the United States to get over. So then they started working like everybody else, and then somehow they were not nearly as over as they were.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were working. You have to learn to work right. So they worked right, and they got less over. So, it's like one of those weird things. I got to say this because this is like hilarious. That New Day match, okay? Because I actually read like some of the people in WWE tweeting about like the New Day match, and they're like kind of bragging, going like, well, this show's about like if you just do holds and do psychology and you can have a great match. And everyone's just going, yeah, no flips and all this. And I'm watching this. So I hadn't watched the match yet. I actually read this before I seen the match. So I go and I'm thinking that they're going to do this, like, match. It's probably going to be pretty good because people kind of were already telling me it's a good match. So it's probably going to be real good, and it's going to have a lot of holds like we saw on Monday and not a lot of big moves. And I watched the match, and it's freaking big move, big move, big move, big move. It's like what is different about this than, any match I see at PWG, other than at PWG they do wilder moves and more, but it's still kind of like the same thing. I mean, it told a story because they had 25 minutes, but a lot of people do that, with in big move matches. It wasn't like some match where they were, like holding holds for long periods of time and the crowd gets up because they're slowing it down like some Johnny Valentine thing. And to hold this out is like some, what's it called? Like, like verification or validation, I should say. To hold this match up as this validation of your style, it's like they're just out there doing, all kinds of cool moves. That's what they were doing. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, it's like, that's kind of like what you tell people not to do. But they got over. I mean, it was the people were into the match, and it was a hell of a match. I just think it's, it's always so weird when you hear about proper way to work and it's like there's a million proper ways to work, and that's whatever works, as long as you don't kill yourself. And now we're seeing guys, who get over like crazy killing themselves, which there is an issue in that, but that's a different story. But there's like there's so many different ways that are proper ways. So whenever I hear like, oh, they're not working the right style, even though it's getting over, it's like, well, but it's not the right style. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like have like creativity and open mind to this thing. You know what I mean?
This person wants to know about Lucha Underground ratings. Has this been significantly better, worse, the same?
They're a little up, I think, this year from last year. So, which is interesting because I hear like nothing about it at all, but the ratings are up a little bit. I'm sure like the quality of the wrestling is real good there. It always has been. They lost me, I'm not into this freaking supernatural storylines. It doesn't work for me. Dario Cueto's father, Dario Cueto being dead and his father being played by the original Dario Cueto. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where they're going. Also, the other thing is like, what's the freaking like goal of this? You know what I mean? It's like, just be on the air until it's canceled. I mean, like, where's the payoff? I don't understand. I mean, I guess it's flagship programming for El Rey. I get that, but it's just kind of going nowhere. It's still at, I mean, the ratings are up a little bit, but it's still not that many viewers, and it's still a lot of cost. And we'll see. I mean, and a lot of the guys, some of the guys got their releases and everything. Some of them didn't want releases and wanted to stay there because they're not getting as many offers.
All right, everybody. On that note, we're going to wrap it up for the day. The New Observer's up on the front page right now, so make sure you check that out. We got a lot of shows, interviews, guests coming up, so a lot of stuff coming up on the radio. And that is it. Check out the front page for more, and we will talk to you again after a while.